All right, so this story, it is way more than just two brothers fighting. What we're looking at here are the final, calculated moves of a family trying to dismantle a conflict that's been poisoning them for generations. This is the end game, a high-stakes play to lock in the destinies of two entire nations.
And it all ignites in a single moment. Rebecca, the matriarch, pulls her son Jacob aside and reveals a premonition. But here's the thing. This isn't a moment of despair. It is a call to action. The clock is literally ticking, and she is about to set a master plan in motion to forge a lasting peace while she still can.
So what's her big plan? Well, it all comes down to securing oaths. She knows that the only way to stop a full-blown war between her sons is to bind them with promises so sacred, so powerful, that they simply can't be broken. Promises stronger than a lifetime of bad blood. Her strategy is this brilliant three-step gambit, and she's leaving nothing to chance. First, she goes to her husband, the patriarch Isaac. Then, she confronts the source of the conflict head-on, Esau. And finally, she brings the two brothers into the same tent to seal the deal once and for all. When she talks to Isaac, man, it is intense. She's not just being emotional. She's laying out decades of cold, hard evidence. She reminds him of Esau's bitterness, his twisted thinking, his history of violence. She's basically saying, Isaac, you need to see this. This isn't some childhood rivalry. Your son Esau is a genuine danger to this family. And you know what? It works. It's like a switch finally flips in Isaac. He admits it out loud. Yeah, I used to love Esau more, but now he loves Jacob more. Why? Because as he puts it, Esau has done so many evil things. He finally sees the truth, the deep contrast between Jacob's righteousness and Esau's corruption. Next up, Rebecca confronts Esau himself. And honestly, no one could have predicted what happens. She asks him for two things: bury me with our family and love your brother. And this tough, hardened hunter, he just melts. He swears this incredible oath to love Jacob, and it feels real. It seems to come from a genuine place of love and respect for his mother. And just like that, with her mission complete, she dies. Her burial in the family tomb isn't just a funeral. It's the first great threshold of this story. One chapter is closed, and her death becomes the very catalyst that pushes everyone else across the line into what has to happen next. So, with the matriarch gone, all eyes turn to the patriarch, Isaac. And believe me, he is about to preside over the climax of this entire family saga. Get this, Isaac is now 180 years old. He calls everyone to his tent, not just Jacob and Esau, but their sons too. We're talking 3 full generations packed into one space, hanging on his every word. You can just feel the weight of history in that tent. Now, you might picture a frail old man, and physically he is, but Isaac's presence is powerful. His spiritual authority is absolute. He doesn't say much, but when he does, every word lands with this deep sincerity. The source material describes him as luminous with trust, which just perfectly captures his whole vibe. He starts with the grandsons, and right here, the 2 family destinies are drawn, clear as day. For Jacob's boys, he gives them the promise of Abraham: your descendants will be as numerous as the stars. But for Esau's sons, a totally different path. Their destiny is strength, to be a nation feared and dreaded by their enemies. And then, he drops the hammer. This is the absolute core of the whole story. He makes them all swear a great oath, a solemn, unbreakable warning against turning on each other. And this isn't just, hey boys, play nice. This is a divine law with dire consequences. Betray your brother, and you will be destroyed by your own plan. And in that sacred atmosphere, the final piece of the puzzle just clicks into place. Esau voluntarily, publicly, releases any claim to the birthright he sold so long ago. He just says, I have nothing to say about it, for it belongs to him. And for Isaac, hearing those words, it's like a weight he's carried his entire life just vanishes. Okay, so the spiritual battle is over. The reconciliation is real. Now comes the hard part. How do you actually divide up the inheritance? How do you turn that newfound peace into a physical, political reality? Soon after, Isaac dies. Peacefully, his work is done. And his funeral is a massive event. It's not just his son's mourning, it's all the kings of Canaan walking barefoot in a great procession. This is it. This is the moment the torch is well and truly passed. Jacob and Esau are on their own now.
After the mourning period, Jacob lays out a monumental choice. He divides the entire inheritance into two portions. But this isn't just splitting assets, it's a choice between two kinds of futures, legacy versus riches. One brother will take the land of promise, Canaan. The other gets all the family's immense, movable wealth. Now Esau doesn't decide alone. He goes to Nebaioth, the old and wise son of Ishmael. And Nebaioth's advice is just pure pragmatism. He basically says, look, the land is already full of people. It's a future promise. Take the tangible wealth that's right in front of you and let Jacob chase his dream. And that is exactly what happens. The division is stark, absolute, and irreversible. Jacob gets the future, the land of Canaan, the sacred burial cave, the birthright, the whole spiritual package. Esau gets the present, all the livestock, the gold, the silver, the people, an entire empire for the here and now.
And to make sure this is set in stone for all time, Jacob draws up a formal deed. He gets it witnessed, signed, and then sealed in a clay jar to be preserved. This isn't just a handshake deal. The land of Canaan now legally and spiritually belongs to Jacob and his descendants, period. And from this point on, their destinies are sealed. We see the two brothers walk toward their separate futures, and there's no turning back. Esau gathers his vast fortune, his family, and he leaves. He heads for the mountains of Seir to establish his own nation, the Edomites. This is the great parting. He never sets foot in the land of his birth again. And Jacob, he stays. He settles in Hebron in the land of his fathers, the undisputed inheritor of the promise made to Abraham. For him, the long journey is over, but his legacy, well, that's just beginning.
Years go by. Leah, Jacob's first wife, dies. He buries her in that same sacred cave near Rebekah, and we're told he mourned deeply for the wife who had become his quiet comfort after Rachel. Her passing marks another one of those thresholds, the final gentle closing of a door on that founding generation.
You know, at the end of this whole epic saga, you're left with this really powerful question, aren't you? This incredible story of reconciliation was ultimately finalized by a great physical parting. It really makes you wonder, when old wounds run that deep, is separation sometimes the only true path to peace?